Coming up on Cowboys Special Edition, Chief Operating Officer Stephen Jones weighs in on quarterback Dak Prescott's progress during his second season, as well as the growth of the young Cowboys defensive secondary. Pro Football Hall of Famer Tony Dorsett dives into the Cowboys running game and provides some insight and comparisons between him and Ezekiel Elliott. And defensive lineman David Irving is ready to help the defensive line put more pressure on opposing quarterbacks after picking up 2 sacks against the Packers last week. All that and more coming up on Cowboys Special Edition, brought to you by AT&T.
That one's a gut punch. You know, you hate to lose to the Rams. Then you come back today and you almost play well enough to win, and you do play well enough to beat most teams and most quarterbacks.
The Cowboys have the weekend off, but there is no time for celebration or a vacation. Dallas entered the bye week with 2 straight losses. The Cowboys wanted to win against Green Bay, but that did not happen.
That was the main importance, is to get that win going in the bye to hopefully put us 3-2 going in the bye week, giving us good momentum, and then we can self-evaluate, get better about that, and then move on to the rest of the season.
I think there's a lot of good in these games. It's just, it's a 60-minute game, and at the end of the day, they look and see a W or an L, and certainly there's a lot of things you can build on and clean up, but 5 games in, you got 3 losses, and so our team will not panic. It's a close group. You got to evaluate it, be accountable, and get better.
The 3 losses that the Cowboys have matches the losses for the entire season last year. Now Dallas will try and refocus on the final 11 games of the season.
It's a new season. I think this team understands year to year. You got to adjust it to new season. There's a lot that you can build on. Certainly the foundation was laid last year, but it's a new year. You got to reestablish it.
And you're frustrated. We knew how important it was for us to get this win and try to go into this bye week 3-2. And now on the flip side, it's just about staying focused. It's a lot of football left to play. Now we're just going to self-evaluate in this bye week, get better, move forward.
The Cowboys' running game seemed to finally get rolling again as running back Ezekiel Elliott topped 100 yards, his first 100-yard day since the season opener against the Giants.
We definitely hit our stride in the fourth quarter. You got to thank Linehan. That was genius of him, how much he trusted the run game, and you saw early in the game they were just stacking the box crazy. So many guys were in there, but Linehan had faith in us, and he kept running the ball, and eventually we wore him out. And then in that fourth quarter, we had some big gashing runs.
There was plenty of second guessing after the Cowboys scored their final touchdown, leaving 73 seconds on the clock. That was more than enough time for Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers to work his magic again.
Second down, low snap, picks it up, same play, fade, left side, grabbed over the shoulder, caught by Davante Adams.
He did the same thing at AT&T Stadium 9 months earlier when he led his team to a game-winning field goal with 3 seconds left in the game.
Since the beginning of football, we've always been second guessers, and I think you do that all on a personal basis. In other areas, I make a couple of those a day that if you could see them, you'd second guess them.
There was no second guessing the play of quarterback Dak Prescott, who drew nothing but praise from team owner Jerry Jones.
I'm going to say that it's the best game I've seen him play since he's been a Cowboy. And we got on his back, he carried the team on his back.
Play fake, looking right into the end zone. Beasley to the post. Perfect strike. Touchdown to Beasley.
Defensively, Dallas could not stop the Packers when it counted most. It marked the first time in franchise history that the Cowboys lost back-to-back games when the offense scored 30 or more points.
We've got to do our job. I don't waver no matter what. It's my job, so go out there and try to stop them. They're gonna make some plays. They're gonna make some plays, as they did last, in the game. So we're just trying to go out there and make that last stop. Just didn't execute.
They ran the ball effectively. They threw the ball effectively. They made the big plays when they needed to.
Special Edition, presented by AT&T, is brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. The Salvation Army, doing the most good. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Play the Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. It's your ticket for a chance to win big.
The bye week comes at a time when the Cowboys offense has picked up steam while the defense continues to struggle. In their last 2 games, the Dallas offense scored 61 points. Unfortunately, that was not enough.
Thought our team played well. Do we have to be better? Of course we do. Did we have an opportunity, obviously, to walk out of there with a win? We did. You can certainly second guess yourself in situations like that, and no one has more confidence, in our coaches than Jerry and myself, in terms of Scott Linehan, in terms of Rod Marinelli, in terms of Rich Bisaccia, and of course our head coach Jason Garrett. But you almost got to cut the head off the snake there, and you can't let him keep keeping the Packers alive.
At this point of the season last year, quarterback Dak Prescott had thrown 155 passes without an interception. This year, he has thrown 24 more passes and has been intercepted 4 times. His quarterback rating is down 8 points, but numbers are deceiving as he tries to match an exceptional rookie year.
It's hard, to exceed expectations in terms of what we think of Dak. And, what he did last year was set a high bar. And there's been very few rookie quarterbacks, if any, who've had the type of season that he had as a rookie. And, of course, everybody looks to, well, they're going to study his tape. They're going to have all off season to look at some things that we did well last year and really throw some wrinkles, give him some challenges. But one of the things that makes Dak so special, I think, is the it factor. He's got very special leadership skills. He's got rare, I think, want to drive to want to be the best. His work ethic, I think, is rare.
Prescott's development is in the numbers. Last week, for the first time in his career, he recorded his 2nd consecutive 3-touchdown game. He now has produced 6 games with 3 touchdowns, chasing franchise quarterbacks like Tony Romo, who did it 40 times.
If you talk to the great quarterbacks in this game, whether it's a Troy Aikman, a Brett Favre, a Tom Brady, a Peyton Manning, they will all tell you they were at their best as their career went on, that they improved every year because they would see more and more and the game slowed down for them. And I think that'll happen with Dak.
Still, Prescott needs help from the rest of the players, especially the offensive line. Teams are putting more and more pressure on the Cowboys running game, and that has put more pressure on Prescott as well as the offensive line.
Well, I feel really good about our offensive line. I think our offensive football team is only going to get better as we go through the season. I think they're going to see that Dak can make the plays. Throwing the football, obviously he can make plays with his feet, which is a whole nother dynamic that you have to look to when you're playing Dak Prescott. So I feel very comfortable about where we are as an offensive football team.
Prescott had a record-setting rookie season, becoming the first quarterback in NFL history drafted in the 4th round or later to start all 16 games. College coaches always think their guy can be that guy. Prescott is beating the odds.
We all know most of these head coaches at these college football programs, especially these teams that have been successful with good quarterbacks, all want to say, hey, my guy's a program guy. He's the leader. He works hard. He's everything you want in a quarterback. And then you got to find, well, there's a lot of guys like that, and then there's the rare guys like a Tom Brady, like a Troy Aikman, like a Tony Romo. And as it turns out, and we saw that pretty early in terms of the intangibles with Dak when he walked in the door, that he was going to be rare like that. And because of that, I think everybody in this building here had a lot of confidence that he was going to do what it took not to have that quote-unquote sophomore slump, if you will.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Play the Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. It's your ticket for a chance to win big. This segment is brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas.
Elliott with a handoff, coming to the right side, a block from Collins, nearing the goal line. Touchdown, Ezekiel Elliott.
Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott is finding that his 2nd season in the NFL is a whole lot tougher than his rookie year. Elliott says the offensive execution has been lacking.
I think we've been making strides. We still got a long way to go. I think we have we haven't played up to our capability and just everywhere. I think it's just a work in progress. We got to keep working. We got to keep grinding.
Pro Football Hall of Fame running back Tony Dorsett remembers his second season all too well, following a rookie year that netted him 1,007 yards. The following year, his total went up by more than 300 yards.
I kind of felt that I had a job. It was my job to lose, and I mean, I'm gonna make the team. It's not gonna be any questions about that. But you know, the thing about it is, you know, as a rookie, it seems like Zeke, you know, your second year in the league, they're gonna be waiting for you. They're gonna challenge you. They're gonna do their damn best. You're not gonna sneak up on anybody, and you're gonna have to be ready. And I would recommend to him, you know, the off season, get it in when you can, because it's gonna be a little tougher on you.
That has certainly been the case for Elliott. After 5 games last year, Elliott led the league with 546 yards, including 3 straight games of 130 or more. This year, after week 5, Elliott has just 2 100-yard games and ranks 4th in the league with 393 yards. That's 153 less than at this point last year. Still, Dorsett likes the durability that Elliott has to offer.
That's one thing I like about him. I like about myself, and I liked about Emmett. The guys are durable. They can take it, like I always say, take a licking and keep on ticking. And he's there. He shows up week after week, and I like his attitude, man. And I think he understands and appreciates. It's not all about Zeke. It's about the team.
Some of the blame for Elliott's slow start this year is directed toward the offensive line, which added 2 new faces. Injuries have slowed their progress, keeping the line from gelling like it did last year.
He gets to feel like some of the other running backs around the league. You know, you got to work for this, baby. You got to work for it. You got to earn that check. But I mean, yeah, they're not. I mean, I can see that there's something wrong. That it's not quite as good as it was previously, but that happens. I mean, and that's part of the game. I mean, there's going to be injuries, there's going to be age, there's going to be et cetera, things that are going to slow you down a little bit. But I like Zeke's whole approach to the game. I mean, he works hard, he plays hard, and obviously he'll give credit to people that need to be given credit to.
Dorsett was quick in his day, and it showed. The biggest difference between him and Elliott is that Dorsett was more than 40 pounds lighter than Elliott when he entered the league. It's a different era these days when running backs are expected to be bigger, faster, and stronger, so to better handle pounding from week to week.
You know, he's got some flash, he got some quickness, he's got some the ability to make people miss. He's a more powerful, stronger runner than myself. I was a guy, because like I said, I played 183 pounds soaking wet. So, you know, I knew I was going to last long trying to overpower people and run over them. I had to make people miss and get off at that speed.
This segment was brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. This segment is brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
What the Cowboys will be searching for during the bye week is a way to get back on the winning track. 3 losses, 5 games into the season has brought urgency to win the next game.
We have to get better as a team. Have we dropped our margin for error down a little bit in terms of you know, how many games you can lose and still get in the playoffs and get in the tournament to win a championship, which is what our goal is. Yes, we've dropped some games here early, which means we need to get on a run here. But I do like our football team.
Dallas went all in during the draft to try to improve their defensive secondary. 4 defensive backs were chosen with their first 6 picks. All were taken within the top 216 players chosen, but they were not counting on setbacks which have slowed their progress.
Well, let's start with the injury part. You know, if you'd have told me that we were going to, you know, that all 4 of them that are obviously, you know, making contributions right now would have soft tissue injuries between Xavier, between Chidobe, between Jordan Lewis, between Brown, that they would all have soft tissue injuries. You know, I put Brown in that category because he's a second-year guy, but then yeah, that would be a challenge, especially guys who are coming in and trying to learn a system.
Right now, Dallas is 6th in the league with 16 sacks, thanks to DeMarcus Lawrence, who leads the league with 8.5. The all-time franchise leader for Dallas is DeMarcus Ware with 117. So now if they could just find another player named DeMarcus.
Well, we've had a lot of luck with those DeMarcuses, and certainly, of anybody, I'm so fired up about D-Law. What he went through last year, I don't think people understood it. There's a lot of players that with the injuries that he had, would have probably just shut it down and went ahead and had the surgeries that he needed to have. And he battled through it. He didn't want to let his teammates down. He felt like he could play at a level high enough that he could contribute. We were having a great year, and he wanted to stay in the mix, and I have the utmost respect for that.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Back, 5-man rush, David Irving said, "Hi, remember me? I met you last year."
The Cowboys' defensive line got much-needed help last week after David Irving returned to the active roster. The hardest part for him was watching the Cowboys play 4 games without him.
It was really hard, really hard. I'm used to being out there with my boys. I'm used to playing and contributing, and it sucked not being able to talk to anyone. You're at home watching it. You're not even like a football player anymore.
Irving missed those games serving a suspension, but came back and seemed to pick up exactly where he left off.
Yeah, I feel that way. I felt like I came out, had a decent game. It was a really good game for me to come back to. Hoping to get a win after the playoffs, but he did it again.
Irving hadn't played competitive football since the 3rd week of the preseason. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones says Irving's return has given the entire defensive front a boost.
So impressive to be able to be as talented, quick, and have his size. And what I did see is that when he's in there, it gives Lawrence better opportunities, and so it does the same thing for Collins, does the same thing for all those guys in there.
4 equals 1, that's how we have to rush, and you could have 4 superstars on the team, but if you guys aren't rushing the right way, it's hard to explain, but you got to take up passing lanes accordingly, read the center slide, read their protection, certain things like that. There's always things you could do to take off a double team, a triple team. You just have to be lined up correctly, run certain stunts. It's all about a rushman IQ, and we're all working on that and improving on that.
During his return against the Packers, Irving sacked Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers twice. He played 45 snaps, which might have been more than the Cowboys actually expected him to play.
No, the slowly part went all out the window, but it's all good. I went out there and I feel like I handled it pretty well. I handled it better than I thought I would. 45 snaps is a nice set of snaps.
Irving's return helped the Cowboys defense register 4 sacks against the Packers, 2 by Irving, and 1 each from Tyrone Crawford and DeMarcus Lawrence. That's 16 total for the season, but turnovers are still lacking.
Everything starts up front. We've been taught that since we were this high, but they'll come. We just got to keep hitting and keep rushing, and they'll come. We've had a lot of balls out. We just haven't really recovered any, and we just got to hustle to the ball and just keep it going. They're going to come.
At 2 wins and 3 losses, the Cowboys have to find a way to dig themselves out of an early season slump. The return of Irving comes at a perfect time, so he can help carry the workload and help free up Lawrence even more.
Oh, definitely. It's motivating. You see what he's out there doing, and we all compete, and we all want to compete, and I see him making plays. I want to go make more plays, and Malik wants to make more plays. He's kind of setting the tone, and we're all backing him up.
Irving put pressure on Rodgers from the middle of the defensive line last week, but says fans should not get used to seeing him there all the time.
No, I'm going to be switching up every week. Yeah, I don't like to live in one spot.
Special Edition, presented by AT&T, was brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss another game. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass. If you missed any portion of the show, be sure to visit DallasCowboys.com/TV.